So 2018 is the year that Brexit is gonna absolutely kick off, because this is the year when oh dear, sorry about that, got a bit of a cough. It's all gonna go down essentially. You know, the house that has been on fire will now finally start to get a bit warm under the collar for these people, and this is where the home truths will really start to you know, come home to roost, shall we say. So when is this going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, we're in January at the moment, but crunch time is going to be March. March are when the trade talks are meant to be happening. Now, let me clear up something. Many people think what is going to be discussed in those talks is an actual trade deal between us and the EU. That is not what is going to be happening. What it is, it will be discussing the transitional period where we are leaving the EU and what that transition period is going to be, what it is going to consist of, and there are 300 plus more things to sort out in this. Right? Bear in mind, it took us about a year and a half to discuss 3 things. And those 3 things still haven't been settled, by the way, particularly the Northern Ireland issue. So that's going to come flaring back up again as well. Make no mistake, Ireland will veto anything that doesn't mean that things stay where they are on the Northern Ireland border situation. Remember, this transitional period, an agreement, has to be passed by 27 different parliaments. This is not going to end well, as I keep on saying to people. And not only that, there is a really good Financial Times article. I suggest you read it. It's called "Brexiteers Are Overestimating Our Economy." Go and read it. You know, if you think the British economy is fantastic, amazing, well, unfortunately that's got a very rude awakening for you. And so what potentially is going to happen? Well, we've got to have all this done and squared away before October. Basically, we've got to have this done and squared away before October. So what? March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, so we've got about 7 months to sort all this out. Now bear in mind, it took us longer than that to discuss 3 issues. 3 issues which, I will remind you again, have not been sorted out. The British government has just been, we'll say this, but, you know, they haven't really done anything about it. And this should be a wake-up call to everyone. Even if you are pro-Brexit, you've got to ask yourself, has been voting out worth the economic damage it will do to this country? No, it's not. Because, you know, what about, you know, the Marseille Agreement, where you have French customs officials checking, you know, on British soil? Do you care suddenly about that piece of sovereignty that you've given up? No. There's a lot more stuff you can go through about, you know, sovereignty that, you know, the UK does and doesn't have, and like what other countries can do. And one of the things I keep on saying to people, you know, if you value the NHS, when we finally do a deal with the US pharmaceutical industry will heavily push for NICE. And this is the body that chooses the drugs for the NHS, and their job is to go out and find the best affordable drugs available to the NHS. So they don't just go automatically for the most expensive, they go, what is the most effective, what is the best one of those we can get at cost. The US pharmaceutical company will insist that NICE buy from them a certain amount of drugs. It's rumoured, and a lot of people, experts, are estimating to be about 30%. So now 30% of all pharmaceutical drugs bought for the NHS, potentially by NICE, a UK government body, will be forced by the US government to buy 30% of their drugs, which they will increase dramatically in price. And the NHS will have no choice but to do it. And that will put ungodly amounts of pressure on the NHS, even more so. But again, this issue is not cared about. You know, what about Eurotam? Now, the biggest thing is obviously atomic energy. But what about, you know, radioactive isotopes for things like chemotherapy? All of a sudden, you could be facing a situation, because we have not sorted this out, that you literally come to a situation of we leave and hospitals cannot perform chemotherapy or X-rays or anything to do with radiological treatments or anything like that, because we haven't sorted it out. This is serious, and it worries me that people don't take this seriously. It really does. It terrifies me. And people just think we're just going to be in a rainbow land full of wonderful unicorns. Well, 2018 is the year that it's all going to come home to roost. So, yeah, enjoy, guys. Enjoy. Because I want Brexit to end. I make no secret about that. It's the worst thing ever to happen to this country. Because it will economically ruin us for years. And why? Because sovereignty, oh, we get our country back. Well, congratulations, you get your country back, and you send it to hell in a handbasket.